Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Dan the Tutor, on a mission to become the world's greatest tutor. In today's video, we're going to be talking about synthetic division, which is a way to do polynomial long division, but it's a pretty easy way to do it. So I'm not going to go into a long explanation on how to do synthetic division. Let's just say the question is x squared plus 4x minus 8, and I want to divide by x minus 1. And I want to do it using synthetic division. So here's what I do. First, I make a big L, and then this L is going to be filled in with the coefficients in front of the x squared, 4x, and minus 8. So in other words, that's the invisible 1 in front of the x squared, and then 4, and then negative 8. Notice, I do not write the x's. You should absolutely not do that. You also want to leave yourself a little bit of a space down here, because we're going to fill that in later. And then outside of your L shape is going to be positive 1. Why positive 1? Because it's always the opposite of your factor that you're dividing by. So if you have x minus 1, that's going to be positive 1. If I had x plus 5, that would be negative 5. You get the picture. And here is what we do for synthetic division. First things first, the first number always just gets carried down and I don't do anything to it. And then I'm going to multiply whatever number's here by this number here, and that's going to go right there. So 1 times 1 is 1. And then next what I do is I say, what's 4 plus 1? That's 5. And then I got to do 5 times 1. In that case, it'll still be 5. And then negative 8 plus 5, which is negative 3. And just so you know, I only drew the arrows here, kind of like training wheels. Normally when I do synthetic division, I'm not going to be drawing these arrows. But then the way I read my final answer, whatever number is right there usually goes in a little box. That's going to be my remainder. And then reading from right to left, it's my constant term, then my x term. If I had more numbers here, it would be x squared, and then x cubed, etc. But since nothing's there, it's just like zeros. So I'm not even going to include those points. So then my final answer is 1x plus 5. Don't write 5c, I'm just saying c it's a constant. There's no x next to it. And then plus my remainder, which is always going to be the remainder in the numerator divided by whatever the divisor was. So in this case, x minus 1. And that's it. That's my final answer. Technically, I don't need to write 1x. I can just write x if I want. But here we go. This is the answer. Now, one more thing to mention before we go to the next problem. The only reason I can do synthetic division is because it's in the form x plus or minus some number. In other words, if I was, let's say, dividing by x squared minus 1, or if I was dividing by x cubed plus x, I could not do synthetic division. Instead, I would do polynomial long division, which I cover in a different video. But all the problems we're going to look at today, you can do synthetic division for. So here's the second one. So we have 2x cubed minus 10x squared minus 2x plus 10, all divided by x minus 5. This is obviously another way of writing it, but the setup's going to be the same. I draw my big L, I fill in the coefficients from my numerator, which are going to be 2, negative 10, negative 2, and then positive 10. And then on the outside is the opposite of negative 5, in other words, positive 5, and now we're ready to do the synthetic division. So why don't you try this on your own, give it a shot, and when you're ready to see the answer, unpause the video. Okay, so first I'm going to pull down the 2, like I always do, and then I say to myself, what's 2 times 5? Well, that's going to be 10, which goes here, and then negative 10 plus 10 is 0, and luckily 0 times 5 is still 0. Then I got to do negative 2 plus 0, which is negative 2. And then finally, negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. 10 minus 10 gives us 0. So in other words, we have a remainder of 0 this time. And so that's nice. It means I don't have any weird fraction at the end this time. Remember that this is my constant, that's my x, and that's my x squared. So then it looks like my final answer is just going to be 2x squared plus 0x, which means I don't even need to write that, and then minus 2, And again, the remainder 0, so that's basically it. And there we go. There's the answer for that one. What this also means, since we got a remainder of 0, it means that x minus 5 is going to end up being a factor of 2x cubed minus 10x squared minus 2x plus 10. So later on in pre-calculus or algebra 2, when we start factoring complex ones like this, you can actually use synthetic division to prove if it's factorable or not. So again, that's it for number 2. Now we just have one more to look at today. I have x to the 4th minus 2x squared divided by x plus 3. So before you do this on your own, I just want to say what the wrong answer is. The wrong thing to do would say, okay, 1 in front of the x to the 4th, and then negative 2 for the x squared, and that's it, and then negative 3 on the outside. And the reason why this is wrong is because technically there's a lot of terms missing here. If you think about it, this is really x to the 4th plus 0x cubed minus 2x squared plus 0x plus 0. And that is how you should write it for the synthetic division. So with that as your hint, why don't you give this a try now and unpause the video when you're ready to see the solution. Okay, so first my coefficients are going to be 1, 0, negative 2, 0, and 0 again. On the outside is negative 3, because x plus 3 will be negative 3. I pull the 1 down, as always, and 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 0 minus 3 is going to be negative 3 there. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Negative 2 plus 9 is 7. 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. 0 minus 21 is negative 21. And last, negative 21 times negative 3 is positive 63. And thank goodness I don't need to do this again, because I really don't feel like doing 3 times 63 in my head. But remember that 63 is our remainder. And then again, reading from right to left, constant x, x squared, and x cubed this time. Looks like we're going to get a final answer of x cubed minus 3x squared plus 7x minus 21, and then finally plus 63 divided by x plus 3 was my divisor. And there we go. There's our answer. So that's basically everything you need to know about synthetic division. If you have any more questions, please post them in the comments. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.